Now, as you are present, I will take you for a walk with me in the forest, and I'm just gonna tell you a little story about the book I'm currently writing and why I'm writing it, and why it's so important to me that you actually retrieve this information and start perceiving it. At one point, I realized that the old ways of living are not accommodative to my being. I'm very creative. I'm like so creative that it just goes, it overflows. I obviously I went to the music school when I was little, and I went to the art school as well, and I did swimming, horse riding, like all sorts of things. And as you as you might get from that, I didn't have a lot of time with my parents, so I did not have this parenting control apart from them being interested in my marks at school. Growing up in Russia is rough, like rough. I wouldn't tell you all about it. You can always ask me a question if you're interested, but it's a completely different world from how the UK people live and how they raise their children, how Denmark lives, how France lives, etc. So practically all this time from my childhood, I was researching humanity. Without realizing it, but I was. And I realized that, first of all, everybody lives a very different life. However, there is a certain common thing regarding how you earn money. Like, for some reason, money is a central point in this experience. Nobody talks about energy. And nobody even perceives it as energy, whether it actually is. The resource that we all have, our soul resource, is endless. It's infinite. Because it comes from the source. But clearly, the communist people and capitalist people don't even know what the source is. What is the energy source? And they seem to be taking it from the people. And people seem to be giving it for free. Some. Obviously, rich people don't do that. And that's why they're rich. It kind of took me like 29 years to realize that. How you actually earn money. Because I did not have anything. And I still don't own much. I was walking down in the forest, and I was looking at the people with the dogs, and dogs didn't like 2 dogs didn't have a leg, but they're so happy regardless, and people are happy who have the dogs, and it's just nice to watch. I always become very happy when I see people sharing this energy with me, you know, even though I don't own a dog. Next thing, I started to realize that when you connect to nature, nature connects back to you. And actually, it does make sense, right? Because we're part of this planet. We were born and raised on this planet. Our DNA goes all the way back to some people say Anunnaki, who brought the first human onto the planet, or like alchemized human on the planet. There are many different stories about it. You can Google. But essentially, at some point, I started researching. I don't have a lot of storage on my phone, so apologies for the pause. Long story short, I decided I need a manual. I need to create a manual for myself, because a certain perceptions started to fall apart, and certain patterns, psychological patterns, started to fall apart as well, as I started to analyze what it is coming from, where it is coming from, like all my limitations, the fact that I always feel like I'm invisible, like people pleasing and all sorts of stuff. This is why How to Live on Earth has appeared. And actually, I first was thinking that I'm channeling this book, whether I'm actually connecting to my soul collective, or the source, if you will, in order to drop this down to meta and to give it to you. Each time I write a new chapter, I actually live this chapter first before writing it. So from the introduction, you will realize that it's a manual, really. And if you're interested in having a quick look, it's on my Telegram channel. I always post a new chapter straight after I wrote it, and there are already 13 chapters in the book, out of 17, so there is not a lot left. As you can realize while reading this book, I have developed a lot of psychic abilities, because it just was natural. Those are actually natural, and while a being is present and realizing what needs to be done in order for the soul to be developed further, you stop thinking and you start receiving. So that's what happened to me, and all of this content is me receiving, like my mind receiving and communicating into you using my body. It's really an avatar world, and I'm not gonna do it now to you. We'll make it in the next video. But the book comprises a lot of knowledge, a lot of universal knowledge. So you will see that the book comprises a lot of information on energy, frequencies, all sorts of different energy stuff. And I understand it might not be as straightforward to you as it might seem, although I think that your higher self understands it regardless, and this is purely the mind and ego limitation to sort of digest this information and start using it for your own good. So I guess this channel is just topping up the book. The book is actually primary. So please go onto the channel and enjoy reading the first 13 chapters, and I look forward to discussing it with you later on. Have a lovely day. I love you. Bye.